Hello and welcome to our podcast, How Are Your Pigeons, which takes a look at life in the northeast of Scotland through the perspective of myself, Joanna Fraser.
And me, Clare Scott. We take a look at what's going on in the region with suggestions of things to do, places to try and more, all with a liberal sprinkling of our opinions, thoughts and views. So, Joanna, how are your pigeons?
Pecking awa, lass, pecking awa. What about yourself? In what state does one find one's pigeons?
Nae bad. Tell me, Joanna, what have you been up to recently?
Life-changing stuff, Claire. Now, bear with me as I start this one. I bought a mattress. It arrived today. This is going to change my life. Now, I often have over-high expectations of things that will change my life. The reason I bring this up, though, on How Are Your Pigeons, is because I thought it highlighted a particular way of sourcing local knowledge. So I saw something and went up to the Stonehaven Bed Centre, who had a great deal on some mattresses. However, I went to my favourite resource, which I'm going to recommend to you. It's a Facebook group called Aberdeen Gossip Girls. Now, Aberdeen Gossip Girls are quite remarkable. They should be honorary members of this podcast, really, because they cover anything and everything. I mean, you can imagine from the title their favourite subjects. However, whether it's the best EV charger to buy, where you would get good skin toner, how to get a joiner in a hurry. I'm not joking, they're a treasure trove. They've spoken about everything. So just go into the threads, mattress. Sure enough, they've got a million recommendations of what type of mattress, where to go, who's most helpful, who are the best value. It's fabulous. So I did my local research and popped off to Benson's for Beds, I think, in Berryden, and Dreams, who, Claire, you will love it. They had a brilliant, the best marketing thing ever, where you have to lie down on a mattress and it assesses you for 4 minutes. I mean, it must assess you in the first 3 seconds, how you align your body and whatnot. And then it plays these lovely videos that it was the most calming experience I've had in weeks. But frankly, I thought, I'll go a couple of other places, Stonehaven Bed Centre, and then ended up on a tour, Crathis might have come into this, of Duncan's of Bankery. Never been. Absolute revelation. They had so much stuff, they had such friendly assistants, they were up for bargaining and deals. I'm telling you, I cannot say enough good things about Duncan's of Bankeries. So they delivered my beautiful, sleep easy, pillow-topped Cloud of Angels mattress. I don't think Cloud of Angels actually comes into the title, but this is what's in my head. They delivered it today and I am all set for the best sleep of my life this evening.
It's quite a lot to unpack there, I feel. I'm excited for you with the mattress and the Gossip Girls and the tour. And now, I'm going to ask a little bit of an off-topic question. Am I right in thinking that to add to the whole Duncan's of Bankery fantastic experience that you had, do they also actually have a tea room?
Oh yes, they do. They do. Do you know what? Uncharacteristically, they do have a tea room on site, and I did not frequent it. We did go for a cuppy because I cannot go for a run without a cuppy. It's Tom without Jerry.
Well, also, it sounds as if this was quite an extensive research exercise. Over how many weekends did the I'm liking the sound of the Dreams thing, lying down for 4 minutes and being assessed. I'm faintly worried that I might not get back up again if I do that. It sounds incredibly relaxing.
I fitted it all into my schedule, you'll be glad to know. There may have been things going on in Aberdeen that led me to be close to Berryden. The Bankery was a day out, I admit, was a day out.
Back to the mattress, what kind, apart from being a Cloud of Angels, is it a memory foam? What is the fashion these days? Because I have not changed mine for longer than I care to admit.
Well, I didn't know any of this. Well, this was also Aberdeen Gossip Girls told me about all this. So you can get a memory foam mattress, you can get a hybrid. I was really keen on the pillow topped because every time I lay on one, I just wanted to fall asleep. I had an Emma mattress that I purchased over lockdown because it was nice and easy. It's got the funny thing on top, I believe they call it memory foam. It can zip on and off, but it just seemed it went to a slump in the middle far too quickly. But of course they take your mattress away for you. That's one of their offers, and you get a 100-day free trial. Fabulous. But of course when I decided this, they'd already taken my mattress away, so I didn't have another mattress. So yeah, this is a pillow-topped Sleep Easy Centurial 03.
It sounds very sophisticated. I am very attached though, just because I feel I have to share some knowledge. I'm very attached to my pillow. I'm worried that I'm going to become one of those people who actually start, and I have heard that people like this exist, that takes their own pillow with them on mini breaks. I've got a memory foam pillow and I love it. And I just don't sleep the same without it. Do you have an accompanying pillow to the mattress of your dreams, or is it just the mattress that you've got at this stage?
Well, I'm obsessed by sleep, so obviously I have my favourite pillows. My favourite pillows come from when I stayed in a hotel. It was a McDonald's, I think. And it was so amazing. I asked them at reception, where do you get your pillows? Do you know you can buy Premier
Premier
Inn? They have
yes,
their own bedding.
yes. Uh-huh.
I don't believe that. So it's a supplier called Lidl. Not that Lidl, thank you very much. It's Liddell. And they do fantastic pillows, a whole range of pillows, and I love all mine. They're not memory foam, but they're not ducked down so they don't irritate noses and whatnot. Yeah, they are fabulous, Liddell. I have a whole range of pillows. I also have beautiful duvets. When I left my job at the Press and Journal, I worked loads, 6 days a week, often 16 hours a day. So with my collection, I went and bought myself the most beautiful duvet in the world, which I still have. So yes, I'm like proper princess in the pea.
Forget hair products because you're worth it. You need your pillows and your duvets and your mattress. I just love this. So you've got to promise to report back next episode to whether it lives up to expectations. I expect to see you looking ridiculously well rested and happy.
Considering I think I'm going to wake up with the skin of a 25-year-old and blonde hair and blue eyes, it's unlikely it's going to live up to expectations. So, but yes, I will report back. Of course I will report. And I did like what you told me off air about a good bed.
Oh, yeah, well, I can take no credit for this because I'm one of those people that, when you can read a lot of quotes and life tips and everything else online, and every now and again I see one that catches my eye. And one that I saw that very much suits today's conversation is, buy the good bed and the good shoes. You spend your entire life in one or the other, so the cheap version quietly steals from you every day.
I could not agree more. I am going to move us on. I was about to say swiftly, but I don't think it's swift at all. You must have been doing something more interesting than ranging around bed places.
Well, given that you spend a third of your life or something like that in bed, I think that yours is more important. But I have something a little bit whimsical to share, but can you see this? I know that people who are listening can't see this. I am proffering something that looks like a credit card.
She's holding up in the camera. It does look like a credit card, and it says fun card on it.
Every girl needs a fun card in their life, regardless of age. This is my Cadona's fun card, which I now have for the summer.
I'm glad no one can see the face I'm pulling.
It's apparently rechargeable. Well, you see, I have a little bit of a thing about big wheels. Every year I have to drag usually a reasonably unwilling family member or friend on the big wheel. Once in the summer at Cadona's, and I usually go on the one at the Christmas Village as well. So we've been having some good weather of late, and I'll be honest and say that one Thursday afternoon I thought it's too nice to be at a desk, so off I went with my daughter and the promise of ice cream. And we bought our Cadona's fun card and we stoked it up with enough tokens to go on the big wheel. And I think we might have been the only people on it. And we kept looking pleadingly at the man so that we could go round another time because we were having such good fun. So that is what I've been up to recently. And as I say,
I want to know it's a money back guarantee on a fun card.
You know this, I didn't ask, but it would have been impossible to pretend that we weren't having fun because we were just quite taken with our little outing.
It would be great, and I do love Aberdeen Beach. Did it used to be called the Grampian Eye?
I think it did, at one point, but I didn't see any Grampian Eye branding. Well, I have heard that, expressing awe at everyday things and everyday life is a cool thing to do. So I, unashamedly, at the ripe old age of 51, was just delighted with my wee spin on the big wheel at Aberdeen Beach. I would recommend it to everyone.
So it's that time we move on to our Out and About feature, where we link an outdoor activity and an indoor activity, something to celebrate the Scottish summer as we keep going. You realise we're going to have to move into Scottish autumn and Scottish winter at some point. But no, whilst we're still here, I have got a beauty for you this week, Claire. You're going to love this one. How are you with wildlife?
I'm going to guess that I'm not as good as you are. Tell me more.
No, it's just your interest in wildlife. Well, Greyhope Bay has teamed up with the Port of Aberdeen. Now, I kind of knew that the North Pier was open to the public again seasonally over the summer because it was shut. You know the long bit you used to go out towards, you go past the Marine Operations Centre and you can get out to the North Pier. Well, that's been open again since the tall ships last year. So Greyhope Bay has been training up some volunteers for wildlife watching off the North Pier. Isn't that a fabulous idea?
That is fabulous. Now, I do know about the North Pier, although I don't know a huge amount, or I don't know anything about this wildlife volunteering stroke watching. But I do remember after the tall ships being really quite excited when I heard the North Pier was going to be opening up, and went down there especially to take a walk along it. So this is exciting then. Tell me more.
It is. Well, Greyhope Bay, you know they have, and let's face it, it's not going to be a huge surprise to anyone that my indoors is going to be popping to the Greyhope Bay for a cuppy. Their chai is amazing and a wee nice bake. So that's across the North Harbour on the Tory side of it. But on the North Pier, now let me get this right, it's Thursday evenings, Friday mornings and daytimes on Saturdays and Sundays. They've been training up the volunteers to sort of help people look out for wildlife. Now, you can spot dolphins on 80% of the days of the year. That doesn't surprise me at all, because every time I'm at Greyhope Bay I can stand and watch dolphins, which never used to be the case. But there is all sorts of things, and they have wildlife watching boards, which I think are just whiteboards you write on what's been spotted, but it gives you a good idea of what to look out for. And I am told you can also see lots of seals, loads of seabirds, and I'm going to list these here: terns, gannets, razorbills, guillemots, eider ducks, cormorants, you know where I'm going, and shags. And if you're really, really lucky, and this is what I would want to see, you could see an otter. How cool would that be?
That would be immensely cool.
I don't know how often you see
Sounds
otters,
fun.
so I shouldn't get too excited about that. So I think this is a great idea. It's now, I've got it written down here, let me just look at my notes. It's Thursday 4 till 7, Friday mornings 9 till 12, and during the daytime Saturday and Sundays. I think it's running throughout the summer, so till the end of August or so. Yeah, definitely worth going along.
That's exactly what I was going to ask. Is it's interesting that there are obviously evening sessions, because I was going to ask, is this something that's been geared for families during the school holidays? But it's obviously for anybody, but it's definitely going to run throughout the school holidays. So obviously that's a real boon for families. And I think it's lovely if they've got, so trained volunteers are going to be on hand to give you a little bit of guidance, which I think is good as well, because often I feel a bit ignorant sometimes, and if you have little ones with you, I'm guessing as well, they can be a little bit impatient. So someone to speak to and explain what you're looking for and just tell you about, the back history. I think
it's great.
It's really exciting.
I remember going to Crowton, which is down at Falsouth, I think it's RSPB, which is super, and it used to have a great interpretation panel, and because down there between April and August you can see puffins and going down, but I was again with my nieces and unprepared because I didn't have binoculars. However, a good-natured couple gave my youngest niece, who was desperate to see a puffin, a shot of the binoculars, and there was puffins down there hanging off the cliffs. But they used a great interpretive board so you could tell which were guillemots, which were gannets, and all the noise and everything. Another super place to go if you are a wildlife fanatic. There's 2 for the price of 1, Claire. 2 for the price of 1.
I think that's amazing. So, and we didn't even plan this, but we've moved from beach area just along to North Harbour to wildlife watching with just what we've spoken about today. It's almost as if it was planned, but I did not know that was happening. Members of my family have been at the Greyhope Bay Cafe, but I've not been. Is it quite big, quite small inside? Do they have seating outside and in? Can I just backpedal to that for people that need, need to maybe plan a day and they might want to have lunch there? Can they do that?
It's smaller, but I've never failed to get a seat, I have to say. There's seating outside, and on a nice day you can see forever. They do lovely bakes. I'm trying to think how many seats there are. It's quite flexible, and everyone there, you know, one of these places that is just cool. So people seem to go with the vibe, and they're all very, yeah, come in, sit here and whatnot. And nobody hangs around for particularly long. So I've never had trouble getting a space, and it's definitely worth it because it's built sustainably, but it's got these huge glass windows. Glass windows, Joanna, what will they think of next? It's got these huge windows, so you can see straight across to the sea. So you could sit in comfort with a cup of chai and look for dolphins from there.
Bless.
So yes, definitely worth a visit. Go round through Torry, up by the South Harbour, come all the way round and just park up. You'll see there's loads of cars sitting there, and just park up there and pop in. The staff are tremendously friendly as well. They are tip top. Oh, and one last thing on North Sea. Claire, you're not going to get me to shut up about North Sea. I was wild swimming twice last week in the North Sea, Botany Bay, Stonehaven, but it was absolutely glorious. 7 in the morning, pop out in my swimsuit, paddle out for a bit, back in at the desk for 8:30. It was glorious. It's the best way ever to start the day.
I need to, life's just, the planets are aligning for you. You've got the dreamy mattress, you're jumping out of bed in the morning, you're going wild swimming. Fantastic. Do you do that as part of an organised club, or do you just go yourself when the mood takes you? Tell me more.
I wouldn't think it through properly, so yes, I am aligned with the Daft Dukers is who it is, and they look up the tide times, etc., and they know whether it's safe or not, and they look at Met Office forecasts. I mean, you'd think it wouldn't be beyond me to actually do that myself, but I live in the moment, Claire. I live in the moment.
But it's also nice to do something like that, I would imagine, with other people. It's good fun.
Yes.
Is there a little posse with?
Yeah, they're lovely. So I like that whole, apart from Maggie, who I do yoga with, I like the whole sort of, meet new people and come along, and yeah, again, they're nice people. It's a nice vibe.
I hope that everybody who's listening, who hitherto Joanna has sort of been very modest and pointed to me as the wholesome one with the great hobbies, but I'm hearing lots of energy from wild swimming and wildlife watching and all the rest of it. I think you get the wholesome cup this episode, definitely.
Claire, I'm just naturally competitive, so obviously I've upped my game. Or just remembered a few more things, one or t'other. However, you are bound to have been doing something, so what have you been up to?
You know this, it's been a fairly sedate week, really, but I will mention, because I had to do this at some point anyway, that I was out in the family town, as it is known, which is the market town of Huntly, which happens to be my hometown. I was born and brought up in Huntly. So I was out visiting family.
The family town. Hang on, backpedal. The family town, is that?
Yes, that's its sort of slogan, the family town.
Oh, there you go.
Yes. I'm not sure if it's still on the signpost as you come in, but for a while, Huntly was definitely going by the sort of tagline. I know you and I both like a tagline of the family town, and it is my family town because lots of my family are still there, and indeed in-laws. So
Huntly's a nice wee trip.
Huntly's a nice wee trip, very accessible for Aberdeen. So I went for my lunch, because it would be rude not to, at Dean's of Huntly, and I have to just give a shout out to the staff there. You know, when you go somewhere and people are just falling over to be nice and helpful and chatty, they were so lovely. They're always lovely when I'm in. So, and there's usually some form of free sample being handed out in the shop if one likes, you know, sort of trying raspberry summer special shortbread, etc., etc. And also, in Huntly, I didn't do it this time, but I'd like to give a little shout out. There's some lovely walks round by the river and the castle and so forth. So there's a 5k loop of a walk that's very, very popular with those who stay in the campsite or those who visit, and you can go round by the Castle Hotel, which is currently getting done up, but you go past the castle and the river, round in a loop and back into the centre of town.
Is that easy to find? Well, I know where the castle is. Is the Castle Hotel one of the ones on the main street?
No, the Castle Hotel is actually sort of, you would almost say, out of Huntly. So if you went down towards the castle and then continued going up to your left, as if you were leaving the town of Huntly. The Castle Hotel is a building on a hill there. It was very much open to the public until a couple of years ago, and it's now getting all renovated, etc., etc. So I don't know exactly what's happening with it, but it's a lovely building positioned in a lovely place just outside Huntly. But you can still do the walk, even though the hotel itself is closed just now.
And can you park up there?
Well, what I would probably do is park in the centre of Huntly and do the walk from there, walk down to the castle, then up the hill towards the Castle Hotel, and then you go out. Now, what I will do, and I think we can do this with all of your lovely links about wildlife watching and so forth, is I will put a link to the walk in the episode show notes. So if anybody wants to check it out and try it themselves, we will have all of that for people there. But I just needed to give a shout out to it. And because we can't get through an episode without me mentioning running of some shape or form, some people who are listening may know that 5K walk as the 5K running loop for Huntly's Route Running Festival. There's a 5K, a 10K, and this is your one, Joanna, the half marathon. All of those will be coming up on 5th September, same weekend as the Huntly Hurst.
Okay.
So, you know, how good is that? You do your run and then you land in the middle of the square at a food festival. How exciting is that?
Is that what the Huntly Hurst is?
It is.
I take it from Harvest, Huntly Hurst, yep.
5th September. I will also put that in the show notes, so anybody who fancies going along for a bit of running or a bit of eating or a bit of shopping can do any of those three things, or perhaps all of them. Now, Joanna, in our last episode, you spoke about Highland games and agricultural shows and how they had been part of your summers growing up. And indeed, I have just alluded to the fact of where I grew up and spent my childhood in the Northeast. So I think it's time to introduce a new challenge. I think we should call this challenge Off the Top of Your Head. So, Joanna, here's the first one. Off the top of your head, what makes you immediately think of childhood summers in Scotland?
Oh, right, okay. I'll think of one, you think of one, and let's see how far we get. Top of my list for things in the Scottish summer would be going to the berries. Going berry picking.
Right, sorry folks, running again. The first thing that flashes into my mind was school sports day and those little coloured badges that you got with the black stars on them.
I've got you. I know exactly what you mean. I'm going to go with homemade orange ice lollies with the wooden sticks stuck in them that your mum would put in the freezer for you.
Oh man, they were a special treat. Okay.
Over-sweetened orange juice. Although they didn't have any jokes on the sticks, which were, you used to get jokes on lolly sticks.
Random one for me. I used to get disproportionately excited at getting to wear my ankle socks to school.
I was going to say ankle socks.
Instead of long socks or tights?
Yes, I was going to say ankle socks because white ankle socks are childhood summer to me. I would also say, the first chime of the ice cream van as it starts sort of playing its tune on the way towards your street. Mom!
Definitely. It's the sound of summer, isn't it? It's just the sound of summer. The other thing I can remember, this gives us a hint into the type of child I was. I remember being so grumpy about having to go to bed when it was light outside. That used to just feel wrong.
You need a new mattress, that's what you need.
And blackout blinds, clearly.
Exactly.
I don't think they existed in 19 Oatcake when I was a child.
Another thing that reminds me of summer is hot classrooms, because they always had all these windows and trying to stay awake. You're just like mid-afternoon, just dozy.
So glad it wasn't just me that seemed to find school soporific in the summer. I just wanted to get out onto the playing fields. Absolutely. Oh.
Yes. That was a great trip down memory lane.
Wasn't it just? And I think we should ask those that are listening to share their memories of summer in the Northeast
super
too.
Idea.
You know what to do, don't you, folks?
They do indeed, but if not, we've got a reminder for them.
Email howareyourpigeons@gmail.com.
Claire, you also have a revelation from last week when we first played our marvellous voiceover artist. You'll never guess, but through the post bag, we had got somebody asking us, who was it doing the voiceover? We can now reveal...
It is my wonderful father-in-law, Mr. Ian Scott.
Fabulous. A huge thank you to Ian there for doing our voiceovers for us. A true Doric speaker. Right, all that remains is for me to have a wee rustle through my post bag. Oh, what do you know? There's another one at the bottom of the post bag here. If I pull this out, let me just have a look at this. This one is from Sandy, and it's actually leads on from our post bag last week. Remind me, Claire, I can't remember what the message was last week. Can you remember?
I remember it was from Morag as well. Morag was full of praise for your good self.
Right.
So Sandy would be related to Morag?
I think Sandy here is, yes. Yes, I think Sandy and Morag obviously know each other. What Sandy says is, and I'm going to read this word for word because it's quite a short message.
Well,
that Claire does okay too. See, there you go, Claire, there's a ringing endorsement.
Well, Sandy, I can only thank you for your kind and diffusive feedback. Perhaps Morag could give you some tips and some more adjectives to use next time, but thank you all the same. I think that's a wrap for this week. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to find out more about any of the things we've talked about, head to this episode's show notes where you'll find all the relevant links.
And if you've got any thoughts or ideas to share, just let us know. And if you want to hear our previous episodes, you can find them all on our YouTube channel at How Are Your Pigeons?